let's take a quick look into the final major assignment in this course, your Leadership Philosophy and Professional Development Plan. Notice there is a guidelines link, a page on how to assemble your final paper, and then your location for submitting your final paper and the rubric for the paper. Let's begin with the guidelines. I am assuming that all of you will wait until after Thanksgiving to begin this assignment, and that's fine. Basically, this assignment is your final assignment of the course and is one of the most important assignments because in this you will synthesize everything you have learned through your readings and your chapters, your assessments and inventories, through discussion forums, through observations of leaders, your interviews of leaders, through your Read This book, and through any of your work-related experiences. This is your time when you synthesize all of this and decide what is your leadership philosophy, your personal philosophy of leadership. And it's very important that you identify this because as you are interviewing for jobs, as you are applying, you will be asked to explain what is your leadership philosophy. And it's good to go on and know what that is. And so this assignment has two parts. One is where you synthesize what you've learned and you decide what is your personal leadership philosophy. And the second part is how are you going to further develop your leadership? And this is also a standard interview question. So it's good for you to start thinking about these ideas now. This particular page, the guidelines, explains what a leadership philosophy is. And notice this statement, having a solid leadership philosophy is what will separate the real leaders from the rest. You have to be competitive in this job situation. You have to be able to be the best. And one way you will do that is by being able to explain what your leadership philosophy is. And again, you're being given some reasons as to why this is important. It mentions using inventories, including your forums, course readings, and so on. A reminder that your philosophy is personal. It is your philosophy. It is neither right nor wrong. You choose what your philosophy is, but this philosophy has to be you. It has to feel right for you. If you are more of a dictatorial style of leader, naturally, and you've decided, by golly, I'm servant, that's not going to feel right for you. So you need to make a choice here as to what is uniquely you. Your leadership philosophy cannot be vague, it has to be precise, and you have to use the terms. So you will have to integrate what you've read. It gives you ideas to keep in mind as you design this philosophy. If you want to complete additional assessments, in case you didn't have enough to do this semester, I've provided you with a few others. And it goes on to explain what belongs in here, such as your rationale with examples for support, your inventory scores can be support, your values, beliefs, your assumptions, your areas of leadership strength, your areas of growth, and then you'll end this with an action plan that we'll talk about in a few moments. All right, so this gives a brief overview, and then to see how to assemble this, you can click here, or you can access this from your module, Assembling the Leadership Philosophy and Professional Development Plan. Right, again, I'm not going to read through this for you, but you have lots of data. Every assessment you've taken, every inventory, every forum post, every observation, whether it was an official observation or an aha moment when you're sitting in a meeting and you hear someone mention something that refers to our readings and you go, ooh, I know what that is. That's all data. Anything that you've read, when you are thinking about you and reflecting upon you, that becomes data. Only you know what from all of this data is you. Because you'll have some stuff in here that just doesn't apply, and you need to think about that. You'll need a title for this, and again, be creative. Instead of something such as My Personal Philosophy of Leadership, come up with a creative way of expressing your leadership. This goes on to explain the body of the paper. You'll start by defining what is a great leader. The best way for you to assess your own leadership plan is to make sure you know what makes a great leader. And to do this, you will look at traits, competencies, abilities, and experiences that produce a great leader. You must use peer-reviewed references. Then you move into you and your self-assessment. So this is when you are synthesizing all of the data that you have collected this semester. You'll summarize your leadership profile. What theories best support your leadership? What are your attitudes, principles, your behaviors? You will use your assessment results as support. Don't forget about life experiences. You may have spent time in a leadership position or have some examples of some of your attitudes, principles, and behaviors by serving on an athletic team, or by doing something from within the community, or even within a class. Don't forget that these can also serve as supports. These are life experiences. It's really important data because this comes from life itself, not merely from you putting pencil to paper. You will need to use the terminology. You will need to be able to identify the precise leadership style. You can be a blend. You will probably be one style primarily with others that support that style. You can refer to your inventory scores as support. You need to provide a rationale with examples. Do not make a statement without support. You'll be defining your values, your beliefs, your assumptions, and connecting them directly to the theories and to the peer-reviewed research. So you are analyzing yourself and supporting what you're saying with real-life examples, real-life support from inventories and from events, and you're supporting that from the research. Your philosophy should make it clear that you have read all of the course materials, that you have completed all of the assessments, and that you've absorbed the content conveyed during the various assignments. You'll need a section on leadership strengths where you outline what your strengths are as a leader, and you will want to provide concrete examples to support your strengths. You will follow this by identifying areas of growth. These are areas that you need to improve. those you want to strengthen. So explain what these are and provide concrete examples. This takes us into the actual action plan, also known as your professional development plan. And in this, you plan the next year of your life. This can be December of this year to December of the next year, or January to January, that's fine. But you're planning out a year. This is not a list of the courses that you're going to take over the next year. This is a list of activities, very deliberate steps you are going to take to keep those strengths strong and to improve the weaknesses. You will outline strategies, methods, workshops, books, internships, conferences, work-related activities, anything that will address your identified areas of growth. This is a step-by-step plan. This needs to be so complete that if a perfect stranger picked up your professional development plan, that stranger would know, oh, okay, the very first step I need to do is this, and to do this, I go here or do such and such. And then, oh, all right, I finished that, now I do this. So this plan needs to be that detailed and that well organized. Think about how to build your professional development plan. This particular plan can include books. It can include so many different areas. Think about job-related activities. Are there people you could shadow? Is there a mentor that you would like to have? Are there networking opportunities that you could attend? But don't just say, get a mentor, but identify who you will contact as a mentor, by when, and what you hope to achieve, and why you think that's going to strengthen this particular area. If there's a series of books you want to read, fine. Identify what they are, when you're going to read them, and how you think they will help strengthen some of these areas. This needs to be an organized, step-by-step, linear plan. After the plan, you will, of course, have your references, because you are supposed to have included in-text citations throughout the paper, which means you need an APA formatted references section. To see the rubric for this assignment, that is, as normal, connected with the Submit button. You can click here. As normal, I have provided you with a checklist that you will want to review before you submit it. Again, really quick questions reminding you what you need to do. The last one is, have you reviewed the rubric below? There is a specific rubric for this assignment. You will want to carefully review this as you are creating your paper. This includes both sections, both your leadership philosophy and your action plan, your professional development plan. So be sure to spend time reviewing that. When you are ready, click Submit, and I look forward to reviewing these. If you have questions, feel free to schedule a video chat with me. I would be more than happy to talk with you about this. If you want to start on this early, that's fine. Plan ahead. This is your philosophy and this is your plan, but the more complete, the more detailed this is, the better off you will be. A year from now, or at least when you are in internship or your practicum, you will be reviewing this plan to see just how well you kept up with it. So this is not a plan that you're creating just to fulfill an assignment. This is a plan that I want you to truly be able to follow. All right, I look forward to reading your plan and working with you on this. Again, please feel free to email me or to schedule a video chat whenever you need.